the last video, I received a lot of requests for me to speak in English so I could cater to the Indonesian fans and also the Filipino fans and also those people that doesn't understand Tagalog. So for today, I'll do my best to speak in English. So actually, we're gonna talk about MPL PH power rankings today. So in this video, I just want to give a huge disclaimer. All of the things that I'm gonna say here is purely my opinion only, okay? So I may be right or I may be wrong. And also, another thing that I want to add is I'm gonna base my rankings based on their previous performances and also the new players that they acquired. I'm not gonna base it in scrims because for me, scrims are really confidential. Regardless if the team is winning or not, it's all confidential. No information in scrim should be discussed to the public, okay? So yeah, just like what I've said, I'm just gonna base it in their recent performances and their new and current roster, alright? Let's go. So these are the teams of MPL PH, right? This is actually a very hard topic for me. And since a lot of teams in PH are also strong, all of them, so it's hard to rank them, but I have to do it. So I think my number 8 will be ONIC. So why ONIC? Let's see their roster. So this is their new roster. They released all of their main 5 last season, right? The M3 runner-up, all of them. And they got a new team. They acquired Monster Anarchy. Monster Anarchy is also a popular team in the amateur scene before. And the only player that they actually retained is Ryota. So for me, this is something that is kinda risky because we know that rebuilding is it takes some process before a lot of players can fully develop. Okay, I think it's kinda similar to basketball, wherein if you rebuild a team, you wait for their full potential to show. Okay. And I think this is a kind of risky part for the ONIC, but I think they have reasons why they do it. But taking their players, there were also players that already performed in the MPL before. For example, there in Kekedat, there were former Signal Ultra. And also they have veteran coach like Coach Bluffsy and their new coach, Coach Jay. So yeah, I think this is a risky team, but let's see, because we saw TNC last season, right? They rebuild, but they still perform. So there's still a chance for them, to have a good season this season 10. But for me, I just rank them as number 8 for now. Yep. And then going back to the teams, for number 7, well, I think it's gonna be Bren Esports for me. Let's check their roster. So Bren season acquired Kyle TC, and I don't know how to pronounce his IGN, is Ogwen, I don't know. Yeah, so these are the 2 players that they newly acquired. For me, the dilemma of Bren Esports last season, they had a lot of players that are actually really, really good. For example, Storm. I know Storm as a great position 4 player, and I heard that he can shot call really well and consistently. And you have Super Marco, who is one of the standout also in the amateur scene. Same with Joy Boy and Saksa and Pandora. Pandora is known as the XP laner that likes to pick unorthodox picks. This is something that I believe that that was the dilemma of Bren. They have so many great players to the point they didn't know what composition to use and who are those players that they are gonna let them play. So I think that's dilemma will gonna happen again, because Kyle TC is also a standout in the amateur scene. He's known for his assassins, and he's actually really good. Let's see how Bren can utilize his talent. But as for Ogwen, I don't have that much data about him. But yeah, just like I said, Kyle TC is a very good addition to this team. So hopefully, we also have good coaches here, right? Ducky and Paulo Expert. So I hope they mix their players really good for this season. And yeah, that's my hopes for Bren. So let's go back to our team list. I think rating the 1 to 6 is so hard because all of the remaining teams are also really strong. But for now, I think I'll go with Nexplay for number 6. Let's check Nexplay's lineup. First, I think let's talk about the departure of the some of their players. For me, releasing MP the King, Cadenza, and Yoreshi was a big blow to this team. Because I believe at some point last season, the composition of the team where these 3 players play, they were unbeatable at some point. They had a win streak and they were the only one who didn't lose, okay, that composition. So in my opinion, I think those 3 players are really good, but I don't know, maybe there's a big reason why they were released or why they left. So yeah, only the organization knows. So I think Yoreshi is actually one of the key component of the team, because I believe he was the main shot caller of the team when he was playing. It's actually unusual for an XP laner to be a shot caller, but if you do really have the talent in shot calling, then that's a plus. And you can really help the team if you have that kind of talent. Okay, going to this their new roster, I believe Mycophobia is a very good acquisition by Nexplay, because for me, this is one of the most underrated tank last season, or I mean the time that he entered the MPL scene. He was one of the most underrated tank. He has good hero pool and he can be aggressive and defensive at the same time. So I think this player will excel for Nexplay. Also, some of their new players or newly registered in MPL, actually they're newly registered players. They've already been in Nexplay for some time. I think Lancy and Kazen and James is a former MPL player also. I think they just let him rest and register him again. So let's see. And actually, this is also a good thing because Doggy's their captain now. I believe Doggy is someone that has a very solid experience when it comes to esports and Mobile Legends itself. He's been here since season 1, right? And he's been there since Aether main days. So I think letting him play is also good because he's like a playing coach already, and I believe he has a lot of macro plays in mind when it comes to game time, right? And their new coach, Coach Pau, I used to handle him before in Echo, so I'm proud of him, and hopefully he gets good results this season. Yep, that's all for Nexplay. Now we'll go for number 5. I think I just Smart Omega for number 5. Let's see the roster. So their new addition is only one player, right? It's Miko, right? Miko. So for this player, I don't have that much info, but let's just base him. But I think it's still gonna be Chaknu who's gonna be the main 5, right? Because we know how excellent Chaknu is. But I think they're also the new flavor for this team. I think Kel is listed as jungle, but I heard some rumors that it's gonna play as a mid lane. So that's I think that's something new with Omega. But I feel like Etomax is a vital component of this team, so it's not gonna be easy for Kel to have playing time when it comes to the mid lane. But let's see how will the coaches adjust to it or decide what's gonna happen to the lineup. I think the main reason why I put them in number 5 is because sometimes they have a hard time in regular season, but we all know how strong they are in playoffs. I think there's still consistency issues when it comes to the regular season. So let's see what they're gonna do this season 10. How are they gonna will they have a rocky start again, or they're gonna be consistent all throughout the season and comes to playoffs. Because in playoffs, there's no really discussion, you know. We all know how good they are in playoffs. So I think their main challenge will always be in the regular season. Okay, going back to the team list. First, now we're gonna go for number 4. So we still have Blacklist, Echo, RSG, and TNC. I think for number 4, I'm gonna go with TNC. So let's look at their roster. So for this season, they didn't have any changes except for the coaching staff, which is the new coach 413. Let's talk about Coach 413 first. I believe Coach 413 is already working with them last season because I always see him in the venue. He's always having huddles to the team and talking to them. So this is something I think they just formally introduced him now. And then going back to their roster, so no changes, right? No changes with the players. I believe this team performed exceptionally well despite having rookies. And even they were in the rebuilding process, they still performed well. And I think they're still gonna perform good this season 10 because they're a very disciplined team. They like to prioritize objectives rather than team fights. And this is something that is very important to the team. So I just hope that they learn a lot from last season so they could apply it this season 10. And I'm also excited how their performance is going to be. Alright, that's for TNC. Now, let's talk about number 3. I think I'll rate Echo as number 3. You know, my former players gonna get mad at me, but it is what it is. I don't want to get biased in these power rankings. So, I'll discuss why Echo is number 3. Let's look at their new acquisitions. Zaida, Sanji, Outplayed, and Sanford. Let's talk about Zaida first. Zaida is also formerly known as Mama Coco. He's also famous in the amateur scene, one of the great junglers that the amateur scene has ever produced. And Sanji also very famous in amateur scene. He's been in the amateur scene for so long. I think before he used to play in Work Aerial Force, right? And he's actually known for his Selena. So his Selena is often respected because that's how good he is. And Outplayed, we all know him. He's a former player of Omega. Didn't have much playing time in Omega, but I believe he's still a good player. And Sanford, former Nexplay. I think this kid, he's really talented. He just didn't had too much opportunity back in his MPL days. So let's see how are the new coaches, Coach Tic Tac and Coach Trevor, gonna utilize this lineup. Coach Tic Tac, also a very good coach, and Coach Trevor, former ONIC, also a very good coach. So I believe they're in good hands, you know. And I think Echo's lineup is still very strong. They just need to find the right composition for this lineup because this is very talented. This team has a lot of talented players, and then also now that the meta is kind of shifting, Assassin Emblem is going back. That's Cartesi's favorite, the Assassin Emblem. So I have high hopes for this team. Oh, not being biased, but you know, since the meta is shifting, and this team is very aggressive when it comes to pickoffs and team fights. So it's gonna be beneficial for them. All right. And also we have JP who's going back to being a player. You know, this guy is very smart. He has a lot of ideas that he can give to the team. So this will also be helpful for Echo, and hopefully they maximize it. Yeah, that's it for Echo. Now we go for the top 1 and top 2. You know, this is something very hard, you know, who to choose for top 1 because Blacklist and RSG already achieve a lot. Blacklist is the M3 World Champions and RSG is the MSC Champions, right? But I still have to choose one, right? I think they are equally strong, but they have different play style in my opinion. But since RSG had the most recent championship, I think I'll go for Blacklist as top 2 for this time. Now let's see Blacklist lineup. So this is the roster for season 10. We all know that VWise is going back, and we all know how strong VWise tandem is, right? And talking about VWise, the best moment that VWise proved how strong his tandem is was actually on SEA Games. VWise plus Haji, and then imagine two rookies, not one, but two rookies, and they still won against a strong Indonesian team. That's how strong VWise is, and especially Venus. I wanna commend how intelligent he is. I think he has a really high IQ, because sometimes I watch his live and I can see him consistently shot call. It's not just actually shot call, it is quality shot calls. And also even if you watch how they play, their macros are really good, and I believe a huge part of it is really Venus. So yeah, so this season it's gonna really be exciting that they're going back, and I'm excited to watch them play again. Yeah, that's it for Blacklist. Now let's go back to our teams. Now let's talk about number 1, which is RSG. Let's check this roster. So maybe you guys are wondering, why did I choose RSG as number 1? Well, it's mainly because of their recent achievement, which is the MSC champions, right? I think this team gained a huge confidence when they won MSC, and I think this is something that they will carry on to season 10. So this is gonna be an exciting season for them, and they still have Light here, which was the regular season 9 MVP, and they have acquired 2 new great players. Perks came from Euphoria Esports. He's a very good tank player, and mechanically he's exceptionally good. And Irad also is a former Z4 player. This kid is also popular in the amateur scene. Mechanically he's really skilled, It's also known for his funneling, etc. So, retaining their main 5 and adding 2 new players is a very good move for this team. And I think this is something that will be beneficial for them come season 10. And I don't see them slowing down, because I think they still have the momentum that they got from winning MSC. And I think they will bring it to season 10. That's it for RSG. And that's it for my MPL PH Season 10 Power Rankings. I believe MPL PH will be a really exciting thing to watch, and there's gonna be a tight battle for the playoff spot. And just like I've said earlier, this is just my perspective. Okay guys? So if you like this video, I hope you can hit like and subscribe button. Thank you guys. Terima kasih. See you. Bye bye.